Some people seem to forget that the Woodhill branch line was not once made of money. A long time ago, the Woodhill barely had familiar faces we know today. Jackson and David were running their final days on the SP when Woodhill came to be. You might think Neil was the first on the roster, but in fact it was another locomotive entirely. An MK1 from the Fort Silvers Railroad out east, known as Medusa. Medusa arrived when the Woodhill was down on its knees and was just what they needed to get back up again. Day and night, Medusa pulled her weight while being repaired with nothing but a paperclip. She wasn't entirely lonely. Locomotives passing through kept her morale up through her time on the branch. During this time, she ran the Zion Lake Limited all the way to north of the border and returned. Not only did she manage to reach almost 80 miles per hour between those round trips in a smooth ride with no problems, but also managed to keep to time. Not at all bad for Mikado, but eventually moving forward, when the railroad was buying newer equipment and newer steam locomotives and newer diesels, she found herself sidelined from that service in the mid-60s. Nowadays, she usually tackles the coal trains for Woodhill, as well as the occasional merchandise freight. She doesn't usually do the jobs she liked to do in the days long past, but she is just in the spot she wants to be on the Woodhill.
To add to that, Medusa is also well respected by many of the Woodhill's current day roster.
You're still not fond with her?
Absolutely not, man. Well, all except one locomotive. And we all know who this is. Now, don't get me wrong, I've worked with plenty of mics back on the SP. But with her, having her around? Oh my god. She makes my flues fail just by the thought of her smug ass face.
What? What? That literally makes no sense.
Shush! Anyway, if any chance I'll take, I will do anything in my power to stay the fuck away from her.
Seems like that chance just escaped, buddy old pal.
Oh my fucking god. At that very moment, Medusa pulled up beside David and Neil with a short string of hoppers behind her. Now, I don't want to be the type of dude that wants to make assessments, but David's face just resembles a person that just wants to strangle somebody.
Nice to see that my favorite overland is still seething with anger.
I am a Southern Pacific, not one of those bootleg Union Pacific 410-2s.
Anyway, hey Medusa, how are you?
Yeah, all good. Yardmaster just said there's a train on the interchange with your name on it.
I'm switching that, right?
Well, duh, sis. Of course you're switching it. You ain't doing a road freight today.
Oh, okay. I'll get right to it.
And David, you got a train of boxcars.
You ain't gotta tell me, Grandma. I read the waybill. I know what train I'm taking and I know where to take it. Thank you very much.
David, the turntable is maligned for you.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I knew that. Obviously, yeah, I knew that.
Sure, big guy.
Bitches.
I'm still right here.
Shut up!
Fine, whatever.
Soon enough, David was moved to the oil spout and then head out to the main yard to look for his train. Although he was confused while looking, thanks to the yard being filled with not 4, but 5 sets of boxcars on each track. Jesus Christ, since when did we have so many goddamn unit freights?
Ever since unit freights was a thing, baby.
Zoe, is one of these trains yours or nah?
What? Are you actually asking me? Me! 4449. A GS4, pride of the Southern Pacific Lines, would pull all of this dirty boxcars? No.
Fucking hell, you could have just said no in the first place. Speaking of which, who is switching all of these cars in this yard?
Well, there are 2. One that's shop switch over there,
Boy.
and the other one is a very teeny tiny USA dog tank that Jackson is mentoring the last time I saw him.
The way I'm hearing it, neither one of them have any knowledge of shoving cars in this yard. Thanks to one of them, I have to scout through my own damn train amongst all of this.
Well, you have fun with that, brother.
And first things first, I'm an outgo, and I'm older than you by neons. So can it, annoying orange?
Oh, I never! How fucking dare you, you bastard!
It never gets old. Oh my god, these trains just keeps getting longer and longer. Which one of these is mine?
I have the same fucking question. Because I'm not trying to be late with my freight train. But whoever did all this, they basically have no brain cells of what the hell they're doing.
We can only assume. But I could take a wild guess.
How do you mean?
Well, it could be that one ugly looking piglet shop switcher I saw earlier. Or maybe that one annoying old 4 Benjamin.
Okay, number 1, that's rude. Number 2, I didn't do any of all this. I was just busy shunting these tankers on the ready track.
Checks out, I guess. Then who else did this if you were already switching?
It was that USATC S100 that did all this. She's new, and Jackson was just trying to teach her how to shunt these cars.
Jackson, of all engines, and he doesn't even know how to shunt these cars. What the hell?
Yeah. Anyway, I tried to tell her how to do it properly, but that freckle face of an ass engine thinks she's the fucking Queen of England or some shit, and knows everything. Anyway, 767, your train is on the far end of the yard.
That damn idiot. Now I'm really gonna be late. Thank you anyway.
Now, Dave, I don't really know where she put your train, but, like, I can...
Nah. I'm not gonna keep searching for my own train. I'm due out in the next hour, so you know what? Put everything in one consist.
Wait. What? I can't do that. That's because Medusa has to take one of these trains with her in the next hour, so...
Oh, that old hag. Right. Even better, I could show that mikado who really got some sense here.
Can't be serious.
I'm dead ass. So get everything.
Oh, brother. This is gonna end horribly.
By an hour when David was due out, Benjamin organized all of the boxcar trains that was in the yard onto David, and he managed to pull the wrong train out of the yard, leaving one consist behind, and it was David's train. But neither Benjamin or David knew this, until the yard manager ran up to Benjamin noticing this.
Man, why is David's train the only consist here? And most of all, where the hell is everyone else's trains went? The yard is basically empty as hell. Well, I didn't know that this was his train, and he wanted to take everything since he couldn't find his... What? You can't be for real, right? An engine like him wouldn't be able to pull any of that at once. We're gonna need 2 PRR decapods at the very least. Look, I'm being as real as I can, sir. He literally took everything, and he wanted to. Oh, sweet hillbilly. This is gonna not end well. That's what I said!
Then the yard manager went back into his office to make a few phone calls to Mrs. Ginn and a few signal boxes down the line. And to the yard manager's surprise, from what he had gathered, David actually failed on his stolen consist after straining himself and blowing out his third cylinder out of place. And when the yard manager told Mrs. Ginn about this, you can tell she was not happy.
That's a Fanderbander!
Medusa came back after arranging someone else's mixed train and getting topped up with more oil and water, and was looking for her box train. But come to find out that the whole yard was empty, all except for one consist, which was David's consist.
Huh, that's odd. Where did my train go?
Medusa went farther through the yard, but only come to find Jackson and a USA dock tank both looking confused.
Oh, hey Medusa.
Hey, handsome. You two know where my train is? It's a box heading for Trinidad.
I thought I put that on track 8 earlier.
Well, it's not there. Or more like all of the rolling stock is not there.
And then, out of thin air, the yard manager came back walking towards Medusa with Mrs. Ginn.
Well, that's cause the dumbass decided to take everything!
What? Fuck you mean everything?
First off, watch your language. And 2, yes. From what I heard, David decided to take most of everyone's goods train and managed to break himself between Trinidad and Zenin Junction. Now, for the life of me, I would just advise to leave him behind, but no. So, Medusa, I'm gonna need you to go pick him up as well as the goods train that he brought with him. And, from what I also heard, that your goods train that is supposed to be heading to Trinidad is at the far end of the consist that he stole.
Huh. So that's where my train went. Alright, ma'am, I'm on it.
That idiot.
Who's David?
He's my grumpy ass brother. You'll see when he gets back.
It may have been a long ride to Zenin Junction, but she arrived to the junction, except David wasn't there.
Where could he be? He should be around here somewhere.
After a few minutes, a CNW 484 with a passenger train pulled up beside Medusa, and Medusa knew this locomotive from the mid-60s.
Hey, Medusa. Been a while since the last time I seen your face. You haven't changed a bit.
It's good to see you again, Isabel. You know where I could find David? He's a 4102 SP, and he was pulling maybe 30 to 40 loaded boxcars.
Oh, so that's his name. Yeah, he stopped a few miles down your line. Probably near Raven Drive. You can't miss him.
Gotcha. Thank you, Isabel.
You're welcome. And oh, tell him I said he's an idiot for thinking he's stronger than Big Boy. For me.
I'll keep that noted.
And won't you know, Isabel was right. David was stuck in the middle of the main line near Raven Drive. His third cylinder was popped out of place, as previously implied, due to excessive speeds, and now he couldn't move any farther. And so, Medusa rolled up next to David with a cheeky look on her face.
So, Davy, were you a little too impatient?
David didn't say anything. He just stood silent with a furious look on his face.
Oh, there's no use being quiet. Now that I heard everything from Miss Jin, and she is not happy on how you performed on such a train. You know, you could have just asked one of the engines back in the main yard, like Ben. He may be full of silly stories and can be a goofball, but overall he's really sweet. Not to mention your real consist is back in yard 9.
What?
Yeah, on track 9. You could have just looked further in, but no. You wanted to break yourself. Aw, but don't worry, big guy. I won't shame you for too long. Because I gotta take 4 or 5 sections of this train that you brought.
But both engines had to wait for the Greenbrier Presidential Express to pass by them. As soon as the line was cleared, Medusa coupled up in front of David and dragged him into a nearby siding. Once that was done, she went back to collect the consist. But since the train was too long for her to take and deliver at once, she slowly dragged the train into a bypass line. Then her crew uncoupled half of the train from the rest of the consist. But not too long after, they were contacted by dispatch.
Coming in for 1437.
This is 1437's crew speaking. Over.
I got an order from Mrs. Gunn. She insists you do not move from your location just yet. A 3 pair of Union Pacific EMD units that were meant to pass by are coming up to help you with your consist. Over.
That would be swell. Over. Tell Mrs. Jin I said thank you, please.
Copy that.
Oh, and also...
Nope, I am not going to be a messenger. Over and out.
Damn it!
Damn, me personally, I'll never let that slide.
Oh, well, how kind of them. At least more helpful than some engines.
You're gonna make me have an aneurysm!
Yeah. I think he's crashing out in the siding. And I think he meant aneurysm, not angerism. But yeah, not too long after, the Union Pacific EMD units arrived next to Medusa sooner than expected.
That was quick. Thank you guys for helping me out with this. You must be new.
Huh? Oh no, we're not being bought for this railroad. We're just passing by.
Yeah, as previously implied. My bad.
That's okay. Anywho, since I see you got the first half of the train on Kobo, we can just take the far end of the train, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, we can do... Oh, wait, no. My consist is at the back of this train. How about both of you boys take the front and I'll take the back?
That can work too. Sure. But we better make it quick though.
Sweet. Thank you.
No problem, old timer.
And what about that 410-2 over there?
Oh, him? He broke himself while trying to tackle all of this. So if you guys want to tow him back to the yards, you can.
Huh. That's a mild amusement.
And so it was arranged. Medusa took the end of the train with her on her journey, while the 3 EMD units took the first half of the train, while taking David along with them. So, what happened this time? I don't want to talk about it. let me take a wild guess. You got too eager of yourself? And, wait, let me guess again. You, got too impatient with your train. How did you know? I know you all too well, man. Just take me back to Wood Hill. Fine, sure thing. Medusa headed east of the Central while going 80 close to 90 miles per hour. She may not be as fast as David, but at least she has some common sense of not to break herself on such a heavy train. But she managed to deliver her first half to Mia's yard, her second half to the docks, the third half to the farms, the fourth half to Montana, and her last half all the way to Trinidad, but arrived late due to clearance issues cited. It was a long trip, but she got it all done with ease.
There. All done. Oh, boy, I really need more water on the way back home.
I'll say. Now when we can go home to the water tower and then wait for the road back to the roundhouse.
Finally. But, in all honesty though, it felt nice to finally leave the coal yards after all this time.
I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Looks like you made it back in one piece. Can't say I'm surprised.
Yeah.
So, did Miss Jin come by yet?
You just missed her. She said that I'll run again, but I'll be out for months at the very least. And she told me that I need to stop with this breaking the rules and damaging myself because this is becoming
a common occurrence for you? Yeah, I think so too.
How did you...
I may not be around you much, but I know you just enough to describe how you act whenever something happens that you don't like very much.
I guess.
If you don't stop this right now, you might end up in a bad place you really don't want to be in. Since I can't get you to fully understand right now, at the very least, just quit with the rude remarks. Please? I know you don't like me very much, but you can't just lash out in anger at me or at any other engine, or worker in general, you know? If you're depressed or feeling angry about something you hate, I'm always here to talk with you about anything. You may not see me getting angry right off the bat, but when you call me an old hag or a rundown mikado or whatever, it still offends me.
Oh, I see.
And I know that you always want that time to shine, but you can't take the spotlight from everyone. We all should get a chance. As of right now, I just wanted a chance to leave the yard. And a chance to get along with you if we're gonna be in this for a long run.
Alright, Medusa, we got our lunch boxes. Let's go.
Okay, but Dave, please just think about what I said, okay?
Yeah, okay. Bye. And with that, the MK1 left the shops into the roundhouse, leaving David a lot to think about. He was regretting all the stuff that he said about her now. It was a long 3 months, and David just felt depressed. To add on to that, nobody came to the shops to talk to him for a long time. Everyone was either much too busy or in fear they might get yelled at by the 410-2. Medusa, meanwhile, had to take over David's workload while he was under repair. Although David's mind was still wrapped around what Medusa talked about with him, and he will admit he was a bit of a jerk towards nearly everyone on the railroad. And at last, when David was finally able to leave the shops, he was ready to get back to work. And not only that, talk to Medusa about his lately actions. But that wasn't the case. An engine number 800, or Alice, came up next to him while he was getting checked over.
Hey, yo, sup, Dave? I thought you was scrapped at first.
Yeah, I thought so too, but no.
Well, I hope you're ready to get back to work again because...
Yep, I'm ready to go back to my workload and talk and apologize too.
What? No, you're not going back to your workload. At least, not right now.
What do you mean?
Well, ever since you've been out of service, Medusa has been doing very well with your freight runs. But Mrs. Ginn thinks you haven't learned your lesson after the shit you did. So, as a punishment, you're going to be working with me and the USA dog tank at Leon's coal stage.
Say what now? So much damn coal!
Well, you know, we steam engines need this amount of coal for a reason.
Not all of us. Most of us is oil burners. Wait. What are you doing?
What?
Get those hoppers that are on track 5 to the ready track now!
Oh, right. I forgot to do that. Thanks for the reminder.
Whatever.
Okay, Dave, just move forward a bit for me.
Oh, Christ. It was not fun working in the coal yards all day, but he knew that his work was important and tried not to lash out at anybody and continue on his work regardless. But to David's crew and Alice's surprise, he stayed somewhat silent in the yard.
Just keep going.
The only time where he would talk is when he is getting topped off with oil and water with Alice. But he doesn't argue with her. He would mostly talk to her about his wrongs in the past on the railroad, and Alice would just tell him about her way to stay calm, which is also a surprise to her. And dealing with the S-100 was a bit of a hassle for him, but he kept his cool throughout.
Just keep going.
I thought that was it!
No, I was wrong. Don't worry, we're almost done.
He was really glad of the rest at the end of the day, but he was still wanting to talk to Medusa. But Medusa didn't came back to the roundhouse until later. Jackson, the MT3, did try to check up on David, but David didn't say anything to him. But when Medusa did finally return to the roundhouse, she also wanted to check up on him.
Hey, David. Damn, I almost didn't recognize you for a moment.
Yeah, they took away my Russian iron look. But Medusa, thanks.
For what?
You know, about what you said back in the shops. I thought long and hard about what you said. And I will admit, I was a bit of a dick to you and the others on the railroad. And I wanted to say, I'm sorry. Like, I'm very sorry for disrespecting your name. It's just that when I was back on the SP, I used to get shit talked behind my tender and...
You too, huh? Yeah, I get it.
Huh?
Back on the Fort Silvers Railroad, I used to get belittled by the engines bigger than me, especially the diesels. But the diesels here aren't so bad. I feel you, and I will accept your apology. I know you can't change how you are, but at the very least, let's start being a little kind to one another. Deal?
Deal. And thank you again, Medusa.
You are most welcome.
A few shift berths away, Jackson and Nia was hearing all of this, and they were dumbfounded.
Wow, that's kind of interesting, don't you think?
Yeah, he's still taking in what she said, but we'll see where this goes from there.
Yeah, perhaps.
Ooh, did it work out for you?
Oh yeah, that pep talk worked out smoothly. I'm surprised he's not even acting like such a jerk anymore. Well, it didn't fix him completely, but it's a slow process.
Trust me. Then a 060 switcher that was pushing loaded hoppers rolled up next to the two engines.
Ugh, you idiots. I'm pretty sure that little pathetic pep talk did not work at all. You could have just made him fall into the turntip roll again and make him break his frame. Simple! That'll really shut him up other than that shitty-ass pep talk.
Look, I may hate engines that are toxic towards me, but I don't want to cause physical harm to them. And besides, what's your beef with him anyway?
That fucker will always belittle me every time we get into some quarrels. And he will always talk shit behind my back. Not to mention spreading rumors to my other friends every time I come back here.
No comment.
But if your weak-ass method does not work on David, just dump some coal on him under the coal chute, bro.
I am not trying to choke him to death or bury him alive.
Don't you got some switching to do, little girl?
Whatever.
Oh, don't worry about her. Just always excel with a very intelligent attitude. She just did the real cool big decision to do it if she could.
Oh, I mean, there's no need to feel that way in such a small situation.
So I told her that